How's it going, everyone? Yo, Daniel, what's happening, man? Let's see who's gonna join us from drum and bass.
Keep the pressure up, keep pushing. Mind over matter, stay grinding. Put it in the work when nobody's looking. Who cares what they know? Who cares what they see? I don't do this for them, it's for me. No explanations, I don't need permission. If I'm free, I'm just...
One complain too loud. That's your problem, not mine. It's much louder here and I love it. Hola, saludas from Chile. Yes, bro, Majors. How's it going, dude? Blessings, my brother. Gia Diaz, what's going on, babe? Rico, drum and bass. What song is it? Mindset. It's called Mindset, featuring Ryder Shafiq. The Mindset Savage. Mind over matter. All is mind. Dangers of Awakening. Blessings from Florida. Yeah, it's an awesome song. I love a bit of drum and bass. This is by Operate Rizzle and Ryder Shafiq. Actually, if I remember, I put it on the caption when I post up the video. Hey Ivan, great day, bro. How's it going? Blessings, Omni Tensi. How's it going? Much love. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, I'll tone it down now. Let's put something a little bit relaxing in the background. But yin yang. Always got to balance the yin yang. Drum and bass, and now we've got some meditation music. Just having a look through the comments. Hello, everyone. Crestfall Within, hello from Australia. Steph Carr, how's it going? So I use music for everything, pretty much. Why not, man? Music, everything is rhythm and vibration, so it's a great way to... Hey Sashka, hello. Hey Saab, how's it going, bro? There is a lot of danger, but we already hit the target. Rico, love from India. Thank you very much. So yeah, I've actually put a message up, Dangers of Awakening, okay? Because a lot of people talk about awakening, but you need to understand, like, Kundalini awakening and enlightenment, very, very profound. So everyone's after the experience, but what happens, you know, there's a fine line between psychosis, schizophrenia, and an awakening, right? I know this because I work with a lot of people, and many people have experienced psychosis and schizophrenia symptoms, not necessarily an awakening. And actually, it's very, very dangerous if one doesn't know how to, firstly, control their energy, and secondly, their mind. So if you don't have, this is why it's so essential to have discipline and the right mindset. Now, some people do have like spontaneous Kundalini awakenings, etc. It does happen. There's many people out there, but it's usually a really messy experience. And quite often these people will end up in hospital in a psychiatric ward. Because remember, even psychosis, you know, or schizophrenia, the symptoms are that you hear, see things that are not here, that nobody else sees. Okay, that's the symptoms of psychosis and schizophrenia. You see, hear things You have trouble sleeping. I mean, actually, let me look it up. I'll read out the symptoms of psychosis: hallucinations, delusions, confused and disturbed thoughts. Hallucinations: sight, seeing colors, shapes and people; sounds, hearing voices and other sounds; touch, smell as well; taste. Delusions. You know, these are things that actually come along with an awakening, in a sense, because you will see and hear things that many other people don't. With your open third eye, you will see things many people don't. You will see different dimensions, right? These are part of the experience. Now, if you're not practicing the right techniques, the right methods, it can be a very dangerous thing. So I've got to share this because it was on my mind. I've been called to talk about it. DMT, completely different thing. When that's an experience. I've smoked loads of DMT and Chango in my life. I don't touch it at all. I only release natural DMT from my lungs. But it's an experience. I mean, it only lasts 15-20 minutes. Ayahuasca will last a few hours. But it's an experience. It's not an awakening, but it can be, can help one. But even like ayahuasca, right? Many people, the experience is horrible. You know. So these are things a lot of people don't discuss. And my job is to share the truth. From experience, from not only myself. Hey, greetings from the Netherlands. But also from people I work with. So this is why I'm absolutely militant when it comes to discipline. Like with spiritual practices, my daily practices, I have daily practices. Even more so after my Kundalini awakening in 2015, because your energies, your gates are open. Your mind is open to completely different intelligences that didn't exist before. The gates are open. So if you don't know how to handle that, can be very, very scary for someone. So it's not to put anyone off. I think a Kundalini awakening and reaching further enlightenment would only happen if you're ready anyway. But they do happen, spontaneous awakenings. I hear the stories, and they're usually quite messy. So just be wary of that. All right. So I just wanted to touch on that because, you know, we live in a world where there's a lot of people that are after the experience, Kundalini awakening, enlightenment, right? And I always tell my clients, people that I work with, don't even have your eye on the result. Don't even have the idea that you want this, because then it's not likely to happen. Okay, you shouldn't need to want anything. Okay, you should always focus on the practices. Focus on discipline, practice. That's the most important thing. I mean, I've been meditating since I'm 14 years old, right? I'm going to be 45 next month. So 30 years I've been meditating, and quite consistently, because I used to do it as a part of my martial arts practice. But then from about 20 years old, I was always meditating as part of my daily routine. So meditation, breath work. I've done a lot of things. Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga. I've spoke about these things many times, but I've done a lot of practices. Okay, a lot of different techniques. But the most important thing with practices and techniques is consistency. It's no good doing like a meditation once a week. Like, you're better off doing a 5-10 minute meditation every day rather than a 30-minute meditation once every 2 weeks or once a week. It's no consistency. So you're not consistent, you're non-existent on the spiritual path. You know, it's consistency and persistency. So you got to focus on the practice. Most people, everyone's focuses on the result. It's like when you start a business, everyone wants to make money, but you can't just focus on making money, right? Or having that you can't focus on the end result. You've got to focus on how you get there. and you got to focus on doing the things that get you there. So everyone needs to completely forget about the idea of awakening or enlightenment, because you don't make that happen. God makes that happen. Divine intelligence makes that happen when you're ready. Okay, as I said, there are spontaneous awakenings that happen. Okay, usually brought about by a lot of pain, suffering, trauma, and that's why it can be very dangerous, because that person obviously has a lot of healing to do. So for me, even the Kundalini awakening, when that happened, I had a very turbulent time myself. So I talk from experience, because during that time, I was still messing with drugs and alcohol. Not all the time, but I was. Okay, and then I had to become completely clean, because the energies, you can't be messing with alcohol, drugs, okay? Not even, even weed, so bad. Okay, too much THC. CBD is fine, right? But the THC component, now people use this. You're much more likely to experience a psychotic episode with those kinds of substances than an actual awakening. So a lot more hallucinations, delusions, much more likely. Especially if you don't know where you're getting your weed from. Now, if you're ever going to smoke weed, okay, and I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, okay, I don't smoke it, I do CBD, that's about it, okay, CBD, but I don't smoke joints, okay, I use extracts and oils, but that's more for a neurological thing that I've had going on for about 10 years. So what that component is anti, it's not psychoactive. Okay, THC is a psychoactive component. So, weed can definitely, especially too much of it, can bring around psychotic episodes, delusions. Okay, so this is, for me, it's very important, like for my clients, to try to get them clean and try to do this in a safe manner, which they are in a place mentally, right? Okay, so mentally is so important to get your mind right. Okay, and one of the things that gets your mind right is discipline, like having discipline, having routines, having habits, that good habits, like going for a walk in nature. Like, these are the things that I do: a walk in nature, breath work, qigong, hit the gym every now and again, not every day. What else? Cold shower. So these are some of the practices that I do, and I keep on top of them daily. And my practices don't take that long. My breathwork session is like 2 minutes. So I do it a number of times in the day. A walk in nature, usually go for about an hour. Okay. Usually twice a day, but sometimes just once. But every day I will need to connect with nature. So connecting with nature is absolutely essential to keep yourself grounded, and also keep you connected with your true nature, because you are nature. So there's simple things. Like my qigong session usually lasts 4 or 5 minutes, at most maybe 10 minutes. So they don't last that long. So they're quick, easy. I can stay on top of them every day. So I'm not. I also do long, deep meditations, because I don't watch a lot of TV. So I usually prefer to listen to music, or listen to meditation music if I want to relax, like Tibetan bowls, or just meditation music like what I've got in the background now. So I prefer to listen to music rather than watch stuff. Okay, so that keeps it's actually good for the third eye, because you're not wasting time and practicing looking at objects and things. So you're just glued to the TV all the time. So I use social media here, but I'm a content creator. I don't consume content. I have a look at my feed, something pops up or someone I know sends me something. But otherwise, I don't consume anything on social media. I don't consume anything. Okay, I'm a creator, not a consumer. So there's a big difference between being a creator and a consumer. Okay, now, you know, if you're learning, of course, consume. Okay, you got to consume to learn. You got to take things in. So, but be careful what you're consuming, because everything you take in to here is influencing you in some shape or form. So, I will watch. I mean, I don't watch anyone's lives apart from Nevin. He done a live earlier today, and we've got a live tomorrow. Nevin, Wing Shoes Publishing, but that's because I helped him start it. You know, he wasn't doing lives. The first few lives he done was with me. He's got confidence to do them now, and he does them. Okay, so I check in on his lives every now and again. But otherwise, I don't watch anything really. I usually spend most of my time listening to music, relaxing music, usually in the evenings. During the day, it's usually high vibing stuff like the drum and bass or whatever, some trap music, anything hip hop. I always change it around. Sometimes Bhangra music. So I change it around. But I used to be a DJ, so I love my music. I've got decks. I love to play with music. So I prefer to mess with music than television. Now, don't get me wrong, I do watch television. Me and my wife like to watch a little bit of TV in the evenings, but not long, usually about an hour, maximum maybe 2 hours. I'll watch a movie every now and again. But I'm very, very disciplined. I have to be very disciplined, but I've had to be disciplined, especially more so since the awakening, because your energies, you're much more receptive to shifts in energy and energy in general. So very receptive to energy, other people's energy, energy of environments, energy of myself. So very receptive to energy. So all your senses become heightened after an awakening. Okay, so my Kundalini awakening happened in 2015, but I had a further enlightenment experience, which was even more profound in 2021, early 2021, which I often speak about. And that was what I call true enlightenment. So for me, there was two experiences: Kundalini awakening and a true enlightenment experience. But before I got to the true enlightenment experience, I went through an extreme cleansing period. I didn't drink anything really apart from water and tea, not even coffee. I shut myself off from pretty much the whole world apart from my wife and kids. No social interaction whatsoever. I was only connecting with nature, myself and God. That was it. So extreme discipline. You know, you need it. You need to have the discipline. So for anybody that's starting the path or starting the journey, or you're just healing, okay, you're getting started with healing, you're going to need the same practices. So the practices that I teach people help them heal, overcome traumas, and overcome depression, or manage depression at least, and anxiety. So you need to manage these states, because the last thing you want is an awakening when you're not ready for it. It's highly unlikely to happen, okay? But I have heard stories of people having awakenings and they weren't ready for it. So for me, I don't know. I don't know if it's an awakening. These are stories, right? Me personally, I know for myself that the awakening itself was very, very profound, the Kundalini awakening, but the period after that, very turbulent. And I'm just being honest with you, okay? Because I don't want people to think that it's just, you know, you're completely okay, no negative emotions, no negative thoughts ever again, or anything like that. It's not. It's not the way it is. It's not what it is. Okay, you still have to live in this world, and you're still going to be influenced a lot. I think if you're in a different environment, Like if you cut yourself off from the whole world and you just live in the jungle, you're much less likely to be susceptible to those external influences. I prefer to work from home, and this is one of the reasons I do, and I prefer to shut myself off from the world apart from what I do here, okay, and with clients. Because even when I spend one day in the city, it takes me 2 days to recover because the energies are so fucking different. I live in the countryside. So the energies literally consume my whole being. Like it's so low vibrational. Being in a city environment with loads of people and stuff like that. Okay? So I do it in very small doses because I have to be very careful. Because I know how it affects me. Okay? So, because remember, when you have a full-on awakening, your mind is open and your receptivity to energy is on a completely different level to what you was used to before. And I talk from experience. Okay? So initially, for me it was, at least anyway, a very turbulent phase initially. I had lots of energy, but I wasn't disciplined enough. I had lots of energy, but I wasn't disciplined enough. So I had to learn to become more disciplined with my practices through the experience. So I was doing meditation, Qigong, don't get me wrong. I was doing it. That's how I got there in the first place. Because when my Kundalini awakening happened, I was doing Qigong. Okay? But my body wasn't cleansed. Because during that time, I still used to drink alcohol now and again. I used to still take cocaine every now and again. Right? So I used to still smoke weed. Okay? What I had to learn was that doesn't go with an awakened mindset. It doesn't fucking go. I tell you from experience, it doesn't go. Those things, drugs, alcohol, all of that bullshit, doesn't go. It doesn't go. Okay, this is why even like DMT, someone mentioned DMT, mushrooms, I'd done all that stuff before. But you don't need it after a Kundalini awakening. You don't need it. You don't need nothing outside of yourself. Because a Kundalini awakening experience is way more profound than any DMT trip I ever done. And they were fucking profound. And I've done DMT lots of times. Smoked it. Okay? It basically, you take a hit, you smoke it, pure DMT, you're gone. But you're only gone for like 15-20 minutes. It feels like you're there for an hour or 2 hours, maybe even longer, because there's no concept of time. But yeah, you experience beings, elves, and all that kind of stuff. Now I know it was all nonsense. Because I experienced true enlightenment. And none of that stuff is nothing like what you see in enlightenment. Even what I experienced in mushrooms, nothing like what I experienced in enlightenment. Because all of that was substance-based. Now DMT does give you a peek beyond the veil. Okay? You see the shit going on beyond the veil. And, you know, it's very profound. Like the fractal nature of everything. The elves and the different beings. Very, very profound. But it's all bullshit. That's what I realized afterwards. It was all bullshit. I mean, I'll classify it all as a hallucination. Even the DMT trips. Now, people that really into DMT and haven't experienced an awakening and enlightenment, they won't know any wiser. They won't be any wiser. They'll be totally against what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck because I've done it. I've done that and more. So, DMT will give you very profound experiences, but it won't be anything like you get from enlightenment. Nothing like it. Because enlightenment is all about God and the divine intelligence. DMT is not. Enlightenment is a union with God and higher dimensions and nirvana and bliss and heaven. And you're in a very conscious state when this is happening. In DMT, you're gone. You're completely unconscious. You're in the depths of your unconscious mind. Okay? You're completely unconscious. Your presence is there, but you're completely unconscious. Whereas enlightenment, what happens is, for me, I was actually walking when this was happening. I was going in and out of this reality. I was walking in nature and I was going in and out of this reality every day. And this lasted for about 40 days. Okay, but I was cut off from society. I was cut off from everyone. And as I was walking, I would just fucking go into a different dimension. And this was completely clean. I mean, I hadn't touched alcohol for over 2 years, or touched cigarettes, no weed, nothing. No mushrooms, no DMT. So this is why when people bring up mushrooms and DMT to me, it's fun, but it's nothing like true enlightenment. Nothing like it. So, now not many people will get this. I understand, because most people are into their mushrooms, smoking their weed and DMT. I've been there, done that. I'm telling you, it's nothing like what you experience with a true enlightenment experience. There's nothing like it. And with that, I had a Kundalini awakening, but as I said, I wasn't totally clean then. I had to get clean because it was the only way I could manage the energy and I could manage all the information that was coming to me. So I had to give up alcohol. I had to give up smoking cigarettes. I had to give up weed. Okay, apart from CBD. Okay, CBD doesn't get you high, so that's okay. It makes you feel relaxed though. It's anti-anxiety. Okay, that's a CBD component in marijuana. You can smoke that if you like, but I don't smoke. I prefer not to smoke anything because I would like to keep my lungs healthy because of my breathwork stuff. So for me, breathwork, qigong, energy work. Okay, this is what I master and do myself. This is what I'm a master at. Okay, but remember, I'm also a certified therapist, so I had the skills to master my mind. I had the skills because I had been coaching people since 2005 in how to handle their mind and their emotions. As a stock market trader for over 20 years, I had to learn how to handle my emotions, master my emotions, because I was dealing with fear, greed, anxiety every day. I had to learn how to master those emotions. I had to learn how to master my mind with a combination of NLP and other modalities that I've studied, but NLP is the main one because I'm a certified practitioner in that. So NLP is like it's a manual for your mind. So I had a manual for my mind in my mind, which was great. So God played it out really nicely for me. So when I had my awakening, I had the tools to deal with it. I had the tools within me to deal with the imbalances in energies, because your energy will go very, very high. Okay, now I can bring my energy up very, very quickly. Okay, and I'm usually very high energy. I'm actually brought my energy down now. I have to bring my energy down to fit in with society. I've brought my energy down now, okay, because it's the evening. When I'm high energy, if you ever see me on stage, because I'm a public speaker, you see my energy on stage when I'm standing up speaking. When I first used to do these lives, I used to do them standing up. And some of you guys might remember, my energy, I was really, really hyper and energetic. I had to bring my energy down because I was scaring people. So some of you might think my energy is higher now. My energy is much, much fucking higher. It goes way, way higher. Okay? So I have to bring my energy down. So that's what the Kundalini fire energy is like. But if you don't know how to handle it, it's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. And this is why I'm militant about the practices. Like when I work with people, I tell them, forget about Kundalini awakening, forget about enlightenment. You don't make that happen. Just focus on the fucking practices and focus on becoming disciplined and focus on mastering your mind. If and when anything else happens, the more you focus on wanting it to happen, it's much less likely to happen. Any kind of awakening. Because that's ego. You can't have your ego there. Your ego wants it. Your higher self don't want it. Your higher self knows it will come when you're ready. But it ain't gonna come if you want it, because if you want it, that's the me. The ego that wants it. So there can be no desire or want for an awakening, a Kundalini awakening or enlightenment. When I went into enlightenment, I had no objective in mind. Nothing whatsoever. All I was concerned with was mastering my mind and my energies for over 5 years for my Kundalini awakening. That was all that was on my mind. And I had got to the point where I literally mastered my mind and my energies to such an extent. And I was just doing my usual daily practices. I was walking in nature. But I knew something was calling me to cut myself off from the world and just stay in nature and let everything else go for a little while. And that's what I did. I just followed my intuition, my inspiration, my inner guidance. So, God was speaking to me. Okay. So God was speaking to me because God speaks to everyone. Okay. The way God speaks to you is not in your thoughts. So it's not, if you're hearing your own thoughts, then it's not God. Okay. Because that's your own thoughts. God doesn't sound like you. God doesn't even sound like anything. God talks to you through your heart. So remember, God talks to you. Divine intelligence talks to you through your heart. Okay. So that's where intuition and inspiration comes from. Intuition means you're being taught from within. Inspiration means you're in spirit. So inspiration and intuition is what I go off all the time. Like when I do my lives, some people ask me, when do you go live? I say, I don't know. I live in a way that most people don't understand because I don't plan anything. I live in a way where I totally go with the flow. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I just go with the flow because there's the way of the universe. I'm nature. Just like a flower is growing, petal by petal. Just like a tree is growing, leaf by leaf. I'm the same. You are all the same. Everyone's the same. We are all just nature. Okay? I say it all the time. You're born without a business plan. You're going to die without a business plan. When your ego is the one that's always in the need to know everything because it hates uncertainty. Your ego hates uncertainty. It needs to know. That's what gets in the way. People want to know all the details. They want to know exactly how everything has to work, and they plan everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I plan enough to have some structure. Okay, I plan enough to have some structure. Like I plan, I have typical daily habits. Okay, but I know I'm going to do them. I have 6 M's. Okay, 6 M's, which I hit every day. These are the 6 M's that got me out of depression. Okay, 6 M's, and I teach these to people. Number 1, morning. First M. Get up early, start your day right. If you start your day right, your day's going to be much better. And if your day's much better, your life's going to be much better. Because what is life? It's just days. So start your morning right. Morning, number 1. Number 2 is motivation. Get motivated. So normally what I do, I get up in the morning and I go for a walk and I listen to something motivational, something inspirational, some motivational speeches, something like that. Because it inspires me first thing in the morning. It's actually how I got out of depression. Because I am labeled with a depressive disorder. Not many people know that. Okay, so just a label, but it was a blessing from God because I had to master it. So God gave me depression because he knew I could master it. So it was a blessing. So with the right skills, you can master anything. Okay, so second M is motivation. Okay. Third M, movement or motion. Get moving. So if I get up early in the morning and listen to something motivational whilst I'm walking, I'm hitting all three of those anyway. Movement. Just move. That gets people out of depression. Okay, just walk. You don't even have to run, just walk. I walk. I don't run. I walk. Okay. I used to run, but I've got 2 slip discs in my back, so I don't run because it's very painful. Even walking is painful for me, but I do it every day. I still go to the gym. Meditation, the fourth one. Meditation. So any form of meditation, breath work is a form of meditation. Okay, and now I have 2 forms of breath work mainly. Breath work techniques for relaxation, so it's just slower and a lot more rhythmic. And breath work for energy, which is a lot more intense, and it's usually through the mouth, and it's energizes me. So I've got the Camo breathwork framework, for example, which people can get on the mindofmatter.com. That is energetic. Okay, it's high vibing and it's energetic, it's energizing, so it makes you feel alive. Well, relaxing breathwork as well, or meditation. So I usually do breathwork and meditation. Okay, so meditation for me is usually just as simple as listening to some Tibetan bowls or something. Tibetan bowl soundtracks, music. I've got my own Tibetan bowl. Sometimes I play that, but usually I just play Tibetan bowls on my speaker, and I listen to them or with my headphones. And I will listen to that 30 minutes, 60 minutes, however long I feel like I need to spend detaching from the illusion. So meditation for me just takes me within, helps me detach. So there are times where I need to do it more, sometimes where I need to do it, some days I need to do it less, okay? But without a doubt, I'm going to meditate every day for at least 30 minutes, okay? Quite often it's longer. Quite often it's about 60 minutes, an hour. Okay, but I didn't start like that. I started meditating. I used to try to do 30-minute meditations every day. I never used to be able to do it. It was too much of a time commitment. So what I did, I started off with 5-minute meditations. When I got used to doing 5-minute meditations consistently every day, I started doing 10-minute meditations. When I got used to doing 10-minute meditations every day consistently, I automatically wanted to do a little bit longer every now and again. As long as I hit 10 minutes, I was good. So this is where people go wrong. They try to do it straight away, 60 minutes, an hour every day. If you're not used to meditating, why are you going for 60 minutes straight away? Doesn't make any sense. That's like trying to lift 200 kgs on a bench press when you've never done a bench press before. It ain't gonna work. You're never gonna stick to it. So always start yourself off slowly. Like with my breath work, when I teach people, like on my energy mastery course and the superhuman activation event course, okay, these are online courses, the links are in my bio. I tell people so there's a 30-day action plan included with my online courses, and it basically lays out what practices to do every day for 30 days. And then you carry them on, obviously, after 30 days. But the reason it's laid out every day for 30 days is because I break it down so that people are broken into the techniques slowly. So they're not overwhelmed. So just do one breathwork practice every day. Even though my breathwork, the Camo breathwork framework, only takes 2 or 3 minutes, just do it once to start off. You're going to want to do it more once you just start doing it because it feels so good. So the walk, just start with a 30-minute walk initially. Don't go for an hour. The meditation, just do a 10-minute meditation or a 5-minute meditation initially. Because when you're starting off anything, you've always got to start off slowly so that it's much more likely that you're going to be able to do it. There's no point overwhelming yourself with too much to do because you'll never get it started. This is why my practices are typically very simple, and they're not hard. Okay, so back to the M's. Okay, so morning, motivation, movement, meditation. The other one is music. Music. Listen to music. Music will make you feel better. Spend more time listening to music. I always recommend to my clients, take a TV and social media fast. Stop consuming stuff. If you're creating stuff, great. If you're creating content, great. But don't consume too much. A few minutes a day at most. Okay? Especially when you're starting off. You need to do a fast from taking stuff in with these eyes. As you want to open your third eye, it's not going to happen if you're using these two eyes too much. You're better off listening to stuff. Spend time listening to stuff. It will heighten your senses. Listen to music. Music is rhythm and vibration. We are rhythm and vibration. Everything is rhythm and vibration. Energy is rhythm and vibration. Energy moves in rhythm and vibrations. Okay? So everything is rhythm and vibration. Hermetic principle. Number 3, right? So we spoke about this last time on our live, me and Nevin. Tomorrow we're talking about polarity, okay, which is also important as well. So all the 7 Hermetic principles are important. Okay, so number 1, all is mind. Number 2, correspondence. Number 3, vibration. And number 4 is going to be polarity, which we're doing next. And, so we're doing a series on the Hermetic principles. So we're doing the whole 7 on the Hermetic principles, but you got to live them. That's the most important thing. So rhythm and vibration, one of the ways you can live that principle is to listen to music, dance to music, move to music. Like I do Qigong to music because it's rhythm and vibration. So if I listen to music like this, it's relaxing. It's like alpha brainwave frequency. Is slower than beta brainwave frequency, so it's a relaxed state. Now if you do deep meditation like Tibetan bowls with your headphones on, or guided meditations or deep meditation soundtracks, so if I listen to some put some Tibetan bowls on or something, that's actually a gong, but that would do. But this is a sound bath of awakening by Rishi Kodanesh. So if I listen to Tibetan bowls or this kind of music, it's relaxing. I can actually put my headphones onto this and actually meditate to it. So it's what I typically meditate to, is Tibetan bowls. Not usually gongs like this. It's usually Tibetan bowls. But I've got a whole soundtrack here. Well, a whole playlist on my Spotify for Tibetan bowls. So I listen to something like this when I'm doing deep meditation. So, it's still music in a sense. Okay, but I want to vibe higher, I want to feel energy, I listen to something higher vibing, like what I had on earlier, like drum and bass or something like that. Hip hop music, whatever you like. I love all sorts of music. Rock music, dance music, techno trance music. So whatever makes you feel good, man. So this is the kind of stuff I would listen to if I want to vibe high. I want to get my vibrational frequency up. So this will get me into gamma brainwave frequency. So everything is rhythm and vibration. Your brain waves are also waves, okay, of vibration. So normal waking state is beta brainwave frequency, 15 to 30 cycles per second. Now gamma brainwave frequency is high performance, peak performance state, and you feel jacked and you feel good and you feel alive. That's the best place to get stuff done. So I go to gamma brainwave frequency whenever I'm doing my work, whenever I gotta do, like, this is why I usually start with music like this on my lives, because I want to bring my brainwaves up into gamma brainwave frequency. I don't want to be in beta, that's normal waking state. So I basically try to do whatever I can to stay out of beta brainwave frequency. Beta brainwave frequency is normal waking state, I usually go into beta brainwave frequency when I need to fit in with society, when I need to fit in with the world. I'm basically going a little bit into it now when I'm conversing, but when you'll notice it. If you watch me enough, you'll see me. You'll notice my energy. Okay, it fluctuates because I'm managing it. As I said, when I used to do these lives initially, this is why I sit down now, because I used to stand up and do them. And when I stand up, I'm in gamma. So I try to sort of stay on the border of gamma and beta, like when I'm speaking here, just to keep myself a bit more relatable. Otherwise, I'm fucking crazy. Most people will just get scared. Okay, so I get too much energy. I get too excited. And some of you guys have seen me do it, man. Some of you guys have seen me do it. When I first started this page, I was doing my live standing up most of the time. So I sit down for a reason. It brings my energy down, because once I stand up, my energy, I'm fucking ready to go. I'm ready to lift off. So by sitting down, it's changing my physiology. I actually spoke about this on my last live. Physiology, okay, it's so important. Now, that brings me on to the sixth M. It's just mindset. And your mindset is basically controlled by three things mainly: your physiology, and the language you use, and the words. So the words you use, not only what you speak out, but the words, more importantly, what you say to yourself. The words you say to yourself, okay, that's 7% of your state of mind, the words. 38% of your state of mind and your state of being is the language. So 45% is words and language. So there's a massive 55%. And this is the one that I like to focus on, because it's huge. Because if you master the 55%, the rest of it takes care of itself. This is neuro-linguistic programming. 55% is physiology. 55% of your state of mind and the way you are being is down to your physiology. But other things that come under mindset, so I need to work on my mindset every day, a bit of reading. Okay? If you're learning something and you're trying to pick something up, maybe you're on one of my courses. So mindset, one of the things that would be involved in mindset is maybe completing some of the modules on the Energy Mastery course or the Superhuman Activation event. The online courses on my website, themindofmatter.com. Okay? So that would be mindset, because you're developing your mind. So anything that develops your mind, taking a course, watching a live, that's mindset development. Like you guys are developing your mindset right now. So this is mindset development. So number 6 is mindset development. Okay? So anything that works on your mindset development. Do something every day that helps you grow mentally. Okay? Do something every day. So these 6 M's are every day. First thing, every day. This is how as long as I hit these 6 M's, my day's good. Morning, get my morning right. And by getting the morning right, I mean get up, ready to take the day on, excited like a child, excited about the day ahead. Every day is a new day in my dream, okay? I live this like it's a dream. That's what my book is called, Live the Dream, okay? Live the dream. This is a dream consciousness. Tomorrow's dream is over. This dream today is nearly over. It's 9 o'clock in the evening, but I've still got a few hours, but I'm still enjoying this dream, because this dream today is not over. Tomorrow's a new dream. I do whatever I can not to think about tomorrow, because I want to be present. I do whatever I fucking can to make sure I don't think about tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day. I always want to be in the now, in the present moment. Today is where it's at. Carpe diem. Seize the day like there is no tomorrow. Because one day there will be no tomorrow. But if you live life that way, your life will be much better. Because what is life? It's just days. So if you just seize every day like there is no tomorrow, your life is going to be amazing. That's the secret formula. Live today like there is no tomorrow. Make sure you live it to the fullest every day. So I can make sure I live my life to the fullest as long as I hit those 6 M's and I keep on top of my spiritual practices. Now, those 6 M's are basically hit with my spiritual practices, my practices. Like morning, well, I'm going to get up and go for a walk first thing in the morning. Okay? Motivation. Okay? Now, if I don't feel like listening to motivational speeches or inspirational speeches whilst I'm walking, I will listen to some music that motivates me. Motivational music. Okay? So something energetic, something high vibrational. So techno music, drum and bass, something that gets me going. Okay? Whatever you like. It doesn't have to be what I like. Obviously, it has to be what you like. So I listen to something that motivates me first thing in the morning. 3, motion. Get moving. Get moving. First thing in the morning, get moving. Okay, if you work at home, this is absolutely critical. I do work from home, so this is absolutely critical for me to do. First thing in the morning, get moving. Get out the door and move. First thing in the morning. Okay? I normally just go for a walk. I usually go to the gym like lunchtime. If I go to the gym, I don't go to the gym every day, but 3 or 4 times a week or 3 times a week. Generally, I'm only going about 2 or 3 times in the week at the moment. Okay, but I usually step it down a little bit in the winter. But I've been working out a long time, so I have got 2 slip discs in my back, so I've got to take it easy. But I still work out. It doesn't, you know, I'm in pain every day. I live in pain, but it doesn't stop me because that's just an excuse, isn't it? You know, some people, they have problems and they just make excuses. You know, that's not the way to look at it. If you've got a problem, you got to fucking deal with it. As I said many years ago, I was diagnosed with depressive disorder, emotionally unstable personality disorder. I used the tools that I already had to master my mind and my emotions myself. Okay? And also, the 6 M's, they're so powerful. The 6 M's, like morning, motivation, movement, get moving. Number 4 is meditation, and then music, and then mindset. So morning, motivation, movement or motion, whichever one you want to call it, motion or movement, music, meditation, music, mindset. So for me, I manage my state of mind and energy with music. If I want to relax, I listen to relaxing music. Okay, I manage my state of mind. If I want to feel energized, I listen to energizing music. So something that's higher vibing, right? Something that makes me want to get up and have a dance. Okay, something that makes me want to nod my head, right? So that's going to shift my vibration. Okay, it's shifting my physiology too. So your physiology is huge though. This is why it's so important to move if you're depressed. Okay, the best way to get out of depression is to get moving. The best way to, because everyone goes into low mood, okay, but if you have depression or depressive disorder, your low moods are very low. So I don't want to go there, so I keep myself out of it. So this is why it's a blessing in disguise, because I absolutely am militant and disciplined with my practices, because I know what it feels like down there. Once you've when you've been in the depths of depression to the point, you know, where you're suicidal and that low, you don't ever want to go there again. So I'm absolutely militant with my practices. There cannot be a day where I take it off. If I go on holiday or I go on a break with my family, I'm walking, I'm connecting with nature, I'm still meditating, I'm still doing my breath work. I don't make any fucking excuses, right? I might be visiting my sister, okay? My family, somewhere else. If I go to see my mum, I'm going for a walk in the woods near her house. I'm still connecting with nature. I'm not making any fucking excuses just because I'm not at home in my usual area. I go on holiday. Usually I'll go on holiday in places where there's country parks anyway, because that's typically the kind of thing me and my family do. We usually go on holidays where there's a beach, or there's a forest, or there's woodland, or something like that. So we always go somewhere where there's a lot of nature anyway. So if anything, when I go on holiday, I'm going to be doing it more, especially connecting with nature. But I live in the countryside, so I'm always going to connect with nature. Like, do not underestimate the effects of simply being in the presence of nature. Like animals, plants, trees, open skies. If you've been in a city environment, I used to work in the city. I mean, back in 2012, I had an office in Liverpool Street in London on the 17th floor. Okay, as part of my stock trading business. And I used to be in the city all the time then. So I know what it's like to be in these man-made buildings, these concrete jungles, right? The concrete jungles. I know what it's like. I know what it makes you feel like. I know what it feels like when you're out of it too. So when you're surrounding yourself with the concrete jungle, you're in a lower vibrational environment. When you're surrounding yourself with nature, you're in a higher vibrational environment. Why? Because nature is alive. A concrete building, my house is not alive. A skyscraper isn't alive. It's a man-made thing. God makes nature. God makes the plants, makes the trees, makes the birds. You need to connect with what God made, not what man made. If you want to connect with God and your soul, you need to connect with what God made and what you are. God made nature and we are nature. So we must connect with nature to find our higher selves, our soul, connect with our soul, our true self, and connect with God. It's so simple. But if you do it daily, even if for 30 minutes a day, you notice the difference. Even if you have to work in the city or wherever you have to go, find some nature, even if it's a little park. I mean, even in central London, they've got little parks, little squares where they've got grass and trees and birds. It's everywhere. You can find it. Even in the city, you can find green, open spaces. You can find it. Okay, so they are there. I'm sure they have them in other places like New York. They're there. They are there. Okay, you don't have to be in the countryside. Okay, a lake. Find a lake. Find some water, an open stream, a river. Because connecting with water is also nature. So I love to watch the ocean. Okay, there's nothing better than watching the sea or the ocean, but lakes are good too. Lakes are brilliant too. Like the ripples in the lake, that's us. The lake is God. We are the ripples in the lake. The ocean is God. The waves in the ocean is us. Right? We are the waves in the ocean. We will become one with the ocean. We should never forget we're always connected to the ocean. Okay? Just because you're a wave right now, it doesn't mean you're not a part of the ocean. You just got to remember you are part of the greater ocean. That means every wave is connected. So everyone here, every human being is connected. Because God connects everyone and everything. Another thing that connects everyone and everything that a lot of people forget to connect with is empty space. Without this empty space, nothing would exist. It's empty space that separates everything so that it can actually exist. But empty space, therefore, also connects everything. Empty space is not empty. It's full of infinite potential and energy. This is why the chi energy is here. This is why your breath comes from here. You breathe in from here. Right? You can't see it. But people tend to forget. You need to connect with what you can't see. You want to see the unseen? Connect with what you can't see. Can't see your breath. You can't see chi energy. The electromagnetic energy here. You can learn to see it. You will learn to see it once you start learning how to feel it. Because it will show up. You'll be able to see it with your third eye. Now, it's not like you're going to see it out here. Okay? But you'll see it. You'll feel it. You'll know it's there. When I do my chi balls, I can see the ball. I can feel the ball. When I'm moving my hand like this, and these are the polarities, the negative and the positive charge. When I'm moving my hands and the energy's ebbing and flowing from one hand to the other and in between the hands, I'm moving energy. But when you practice feeling and moving energy, you will begin to see it too, the more you practice it. So I see the energy. But that doesn't come straight away. You learn to see the energy when you keep practicing feeling it and moving it. You will see the energy. But first you need to feel it and you need to move it. You need to get in flow with it. So chi energy is all around us. It's here. It's here. You can feel it in your hand. When you do chi energy, that's where the energy comes from. My Kundalini awakening happened because of the chi energy I was bringing into my body. Alright. So the 6 M's are very important, but generally just practices. Like, forget about awakening, forget about enlightenment, forget about what you're trying to achieve. Because that's your ego, okay? Now, the ego don't want to focus on the practice, but that's what it takes. You got to focus on the practice, you got to focus on the techniques. So for me, as I say, like on my courses, the Energy Mastery course is 10 hours of training on the practices, plus a 30-day plan that tells you what to do, when to do it. Okay, the Superhuman Activation event, okay, which is the one that I've done in January, but it's an online course. The Superhuman Activation online course. Day 1 is healing, NLP, timeline therapy, guided meditation, because you have to heal and you've got to learn to let go of the past and you've got to heal some trauma. So I typically work with clients in 2 parts: healing and letting go. Healing and letting go of the lower self. Healing first, letting go of the lower self and the attachment to the lower self identity, the ego. And then awakening, connecting with the higher self, connecting with God, divine intelligence. So it's broken into 2 phases typically. Healing first, because you got to heal. The last thing you want is an awakening if you haven't healed. As I said, my awakening happened and it was very turbulent. My Kundalini awakening, at least anyway. Okay, not the enlightenment experience that I spoke about, which happened 5 years later. But the Kundalini awakening, it was turbulent, but I had the tools and the techniques to deal with it. Okay? But most people don't. By that time, I had already been, I've been a certified therapist since 2005. The awakening happened 10 years later. The Kundalini awakening. So I had already been doing Qigong for 13 years. So I already knew how to manage energy. I already learned how to master my emotions because of my stock trading business. So I say master your emotions. It's not your emotions disappear. Mastering is completely different. Okay, mastering something doesn't mean it goes away. It means you've learned to master it. So my energy still fluctuate. I still have negative thoughts. Okay, not as many, but they still do occur. Okay, it's not like you become immune to it. Someone said to me the other day, like, do you have any negative thoughts? Of course I do, just not as many as I used to. Okay, I just know how to handle it. I have the tools to deal with it. Okay, they still pop up, nowhere near as much, but they do still show up. I still do feel negative emotions, what we label as negative emotions, anger or frustration, but I know how to deal with it. I always transmute anger and frustration into motivation. So you can transmute energies, remember. Like, I still have the feeling of, say, boredom or not necessarily sadness, because I'm beyond that now, but not really depression either, because I know if I start to go there, because I will, if I spend too much time in yin state, or I don't do anything, and I just basically become too lazy, sloth, which is one of the 7 cardinal sins. If I stay in sloth mode too much, anyone, actually, if anyone stays in sloth mode too much, meaning you don't do anything with your life, you're going to become depressed. This is why I do a lot of things with my life. Okay? I run another business, right? The tradingframework.com. I've been running that, 18 years now. So that's my main business. Okay? The Mind of Matter I do on the side. Okay? But this is how I keep myself busy. I don't want to not be busy. I've actually done that. Okay? By the time I was 40 years old, I was semi-retired. I would work a trade about an hour, 2 hours in the morning. I was done. I had the whole day free. But when you don't know what to do with yourself, I mean, there's only so much relaxing and stuff you can do. We're here to live, man. We're not here to fucking relax. Yes, relax. But relaxing and doing nothing is not living. You know, everyone's alive, but there's a massive difference between being alive and actually truly living. So if you're just alive and you're just mulling along every day, you're going to get depression. You're going to become sad. You're going to become miserable. Because that's your soul telling you, fucking hell, motherfucker, do something with your life. Do something with your life. Because your soul is the one. You feel those emotions because you're supposed to. You feel depressed and sad because you're supposed to. Because that's yin state. You can't be in yin state too long. Yin state is a relaxed state. And every state will have its extremes. Like yang state will have its extreme. If you stay in yang too much, if you're doing too much, you're going to get stressed. You're going to burn out. So whenever you're in yang state, expressive, being productive, if you do too much, it will get to an extreme. Everything has an extreme. But there's only really two states that we go into, yin and yang. Yin and yang. The divine feminine, divine masculine. These are energies. That's how energy works. But if you stay too much in yin and in the divine feminine too much, it will tell you to get out. And the way it tells you to get out, typically it will give you the feelings, the experience of sadness, misery, depression. That's your signal. That's the sign from God and your soul telling you you need to do something. Okay, so this is why movement is critical. Especially for someone that suffers depression. For anyone that suffers depression, just getting moving, like a 30-minute walk every day will make someone with depression feel so much better. And I know this because I'm talking from experience. Just getting up earlier and going for a walk. That's the number one thing I give clients, right? If they're suffering depression, I don't give them any fancy, super snazzy techniques to do. I give them something really simple because they're depressed. They don't need a 60-minute fucking meditation. They're not going to do it. They don't need breath work. They don't need qigong. They're not going to fucking do it. Someone's depressed. They're not going to fucking do it. They're not going to do that. They need something really simple. And if they can't do this one, they're not going to do the others. So always start with the simple stuff. Get up earlier every day and just fucking walk for 30 minutes. If you can't do that every day, there's no point me giving you breath work and qigong and other techniques. There's no point. You need to master that one first. That's why I have the 6 M's. It's morning first. Get your morning right. Because the number one symptom of people that are depressed and miserable is that they want to sleep all fucking day. They don't want to wake up. They've lost the will to live. And when you lose the will to live, you're in depression. And then you will want to sleep more and not live life. Because the longer you sleep, the less you have to deal with life. And when it gets really extreme, what do people do? They go to the depths of suicide. Right? That's how far it can go if you don't break yourself out of it. Right? My brother died from depression and drinking too much alcohol. I suffered depression myself, and I know the symptoms because I'd done it. I was there doing the same fucking shit. Everyone that has depression suffers the same symptoms. They don't want to get up, and they don't want to move. They don't want to do anything. So the first thing I say to anyone that's depressed, just do something. Just get moving. Just get up earlier every morning. Okay? Just get up. Just get up, man. Just fucking get up. Because if someone's depressed, they won't want to wake up. They can sleep 12 hours a day. No problem. Seriously. I know. I've been there. I've done it. No problem, you can sleep 12 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. Okay? You should only need 7 to 8 hours, right? I mean, really, you can get away with about 6 to 7, but for most people, 8 hours is good. If you're needing more than 8 hours, something's wrong. Okay? And this is where something needs to be done. Like, if you can't get yourself up, get someone else to get you up. This is where accountability is so important. So, initially, get someone to help you. Your wife, your partner. Say, look, I'm struggling to wake up. I need to get myself out of depression. Can you just fucking give me some tough love? Like, sometimes that's what you need. You need someone to just kick you out of your fucking bed. You need someone to slap you. Get up. Seriously, sometimes that's what it takes. You need someone to just get you out of fucking bed and get moving. Right? So that's why, like, morning is so important, because when you get your morning right, everything else starts to just click into place. So this is, like, seriously more for those that are suffering depression, but I want to focus on people that are suffering because they're the ones that need the help the most. You know? Because there's a lot of people in this world that are suffering, and they just don't get the help from doctors or people out there because they don't actually really know how to deal with it. They will just give you antidepressants, give you drugs, because they're drug dealers. That's what they do. They sell you drugs. They're drug dealers. Okay? Now, if anything, if you're going to get any help, professional help from the doctors and what they provide, get talking therapies. Like in the UK, they have some great places you can go to. Insight therapies, Mind. Okay? They're free. So they use some great techniques, usually CBT or something like that, cognitive behavioral therapy. So sometimes people ask me, like, what do I do? Like, you get help, man. Get help. There's a lot of free help out there. If you can't afford to pay me or someone else to help you, right? Get free help, but get fucking help. Like, don't sit there and suffer, because you don't need to. No one needs to sit there and suffer. No one. Absolutely no one. Your family don't want it. Your friends don't want it. Nobody wants you to suffer. I guarantee that. If anyone's suffering right now, nobody wants to see you suffer. Okay? Now, the crazy thing is, when someone's suffering, they will tell themselves things like, people want, like, they start to believe that people don't want to help them. Or people are out against them, even their own family, their own friends. Okay, they do. They start to think that no one is there for them. And trust me, your family and your friends are always there for you. They are always there for you. But if they don't know about that you're suffering, and this is especially men, they suffer in silence. Okay? They just suffer and suffer and suffer. Okay? And it's not good. It's not good at all. And this is down to ego and their pride. Okay, and what they would prefer to do typically is turn to alcohol and drugs. Okay, that's what happened to my brother. He turned to alcohol and drugs and he died. And it wasn't like he was drinking alcohol every day for like 3 years. He just started drinking alcohol every day for about 2 months and he died. So he wasn't even really what you would call an alcoholic. He became an alcoholic like for 2 months. And it was enough to kill him. A year later, another one of my friends died. My brother was only 43 years old. He died. And he was only 40 years old. Exactly the same fucking thing. Another year and a half later, another one of my friends died. 41 years old. Just 2 years ago, another one of my friends died. Same fucking thing. Depressed, drinking too much drugs. Drinking too much alcohol, taking too much cocaine. He died at the age of 33. So if we don't do fucking something about this, and help each other, especially if you've been through it, it's fucking serious, man. And the thing is, the horrible thing is, the doctors can't really help these people because all they will do is give you drugs, and these drugs don't deal with the problem, the root cause. They will just hide the problems. So even antidepressants, they will make you feel a little bit better. Okay, I've been on antidepressants and mood stabilizers. I've been on them, but first things first. I mean, antidepressants, they will lock you into the beta brainwave frequency. So you will very rarely go into gamma. You're highly unlikely to unlock your true potential when you're on these drugs. Okay, so it suppresses you basically. So it does suppress your emotions and the way you feel, but it suppresses your intelligence too. I felt a massive difference when I was taking antidepressants. Massive difference. Even my wife did. Massive difference. I mean, luckily I was only on them for a little while, but I noticed the difference. Massive. So the way I deal with depression is naturally, man. Naturally. Breathe. Breath work. Okay, that's why my breath work is quite intense. The camo breathwork framework, the one that gets you vibing high and makes you feel good, because it gives you energy. Because if you got energy and you're vibing high, you're gonna struggle to stay depressed, man. And that technique, like when I do it, full exhalation out, and I breathe in. Okay, inhale. That makes me feel good. I can't feel depressed when I do that. It breaks you out of depression. My breath work, the camo breathwork framework, the one that gives you the energy, was designed to break you out of depressive state instantly, within a minute. Okay? So this is how I stay on top of low moods. So remember, I've been labeled with a depressive disorder and emotionally unstable personality disorder. So I actually do have these fluctuations if I don't stay on top of them. But I won't let myself go there, because all is mind. That's why I'm calling myself the mind of matter, because this physical body is matter and everything here is matter. As long as I stay on top of my mind and my discipline, none of that can touch me. But as I said, as long as I stay on top of it. If I don't do my practices, even for one day, I feel the difference. So God blessed me with depression. God blessed me. It's a blessing in disguise. Because had I not experienced depression and how intense depression could be, I wouldn't have become so militant and disciplined to the level I am. I mean, I did meditation and stuff like that, as I said, since I was 14 years old. But the level of discipline that I have now is on a different fucking level. But also, the Kundalini awakening taught me I had to master my energies and my mind. Because if you don't do daily practices to stay on top of that intelligence and the energies, because you're much more receptive to energies, you'll just be pulled left, right and center by your emotions. You won't feel like you're in control. So for me, I have to be absolutely militant from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, because I know what depression feels like. True depression, deep depression. You know, when I was in deep depression, I had suicidal thoughts and all sorts. So, I mean, very, very fucking depressed. So I know what it feels like. But I know how to get out of it and stay out of it too. So this is why what I do is from personal experience. So I use my own techniques, and that's why I'm so passionate about them, because I know they literally save lives. They literally save lives. I get messages all the time from people that have suffered trauma, suffered some kind of loss, or separation. So typically some of the people that I've worked with more recently in the last year, I've had people dealing with separation, divorce, trauma, losing a father, losing a mother, losing a brother. These are things that I've been through. I lost my father when I was 7 years old. I lost my brother when he was only 43 years old. So these are things that I've been through. So I can relate totally. The thing what you get with a lot of doctors and people that you go to and therapists, they can't really truly relate because they've never had the experiences. The benefit of working with a therapist like me is that firstly, I'm not just a therapist. I'm a certified NLP and timeline therapist. Yes, since 2005. Master NLP, master timeline therapist since 2006. But I'm also a Qigong master, a breathwork master, a meditation guru. So there's a lot of things, right, going on. I'm Kundalini awakened. I've gone through the enlightenment experience. I've had my experiences with weed, DMT, mushrooms. There is not many doctors out there that can tell you that they've done all that. I mean, even if they have, they probably wouldn't tell you anyway. I mean, what doctor's going to tell you I fucking done DMT trips or mushrooms or whatever? I share my truths, okay, from my life. And because I'm a living example of the change, a living example of it, it's much more relatable for most people. So this is why my online courses that are on my website, themindofmatter.com, and they're in the link in my bio, the Superhuman Activation online course, the Energy Mastery online course, all of these are all practical. All practical, meaning there's actual techniques that you do. So the Superhuman Activation event is 18 hours of online training. Practical. It's probably about 2 hours of just knowledge, but the rest of it is practical. And then 30 days action plan. Because it's the practice that makes a difference. You can learn as much as you like, but it ain't going to help you if you're not doing anything with it. Knowledge is useless without practice. It's useless without practice. Knowledge put into action is what creates wisdom. So that's where my wisdom comes from. I put knowledge into action. I'm a practitioner. I do the techniques. There's a big difference between someone that talks about the science and talks about all the knowledge and it just comes across really smart. Anyone can fucking sound smart. If anything, I'm dumb. I mean, in comparison. But the thing I have is practice and truth and experience. So there's people that know more than me and they can talk a hell of a lot more, but they haven't done fucking nothing with it. That's the difference. I've been through it. I've been through the losses, lost my father, lost my brother, been through the traumas, been in depths of depression, been suicidal, come out of it. Not only come out of it, I've had a Kundalini awakening and enlightenment too. So that all put together is a vessel full of fucking true wisdom. And That is hard to find. I'm telling you. So fucking hard to find. And especially someone that will actually openly speak about it like this. It's very hard to find. Alright, thank you very much for joining in, everyone. So I was talking about the dangers of awakening today. So if you missed the live or join in later, I spoke about a lot of stuff today. But the importance of discipline and mindset and getting on top of your practices, so important. Like, an awakening is no fucking joke, man. It is no joke. And a lot of people won't tell you this because they just want to sell you an awakening. They want to sell you the end result. But I'm always like, don't focus on the end result. You're much less likely to get there. Focus on the practices that make the difference, because you're going to need them. You're going to need the practices. The practices, without the meditation practices, the energy work, working with life force energy, there is no Kundalini awakening. There is nothing. So what gets you there is mastering life force energy. So breath work, pranayama, life force energy. Qigong, electromagnetic, life force energy. It's life force energy. Master life force energy. It's the life force energy that makes it all happen. Focus on mastering life force energy. And whatever happens, happens. Don't get fixated on anything. So I said, people have spontaneous awakenings, Kundalini awakenings, and it can be very, very dangerous, especially if they don't master the mind. If I didn't have the tools, if I didn't have my mind and my therapeutic skills, NLP, timeline therapy, and my Qigong and breathwork and meditation techniques, if I didn't have the skills and I had my awakening, the Kundalini awakening, back in 2015, it would have been a fucking nightmare. 100%. It would have been a nightmare because I needed those tools to master the energy. Because it's turbulent. You've opened your mind to a completely wider level of intelligence. You never used to. Completely different way of being. Completely more receptive to energy everywhere. Not only within yourself, in your environments. It's a completely different way of living. So if you haven't got the toolbox ready, because you've got to have the toolbox ready. But remember, it's the tools that get you there. So I find it a bit bewildering how people even get to the point of a spontaneous awakening, but I hear it happens. Okay, mine wasn't spontaneous. I didn't expect it to happen when it happened, but I was doing the Qigong practice, meaning I was working with life force energy, and I was doing this daily. I was doing my Qigong practice daily. Okay, I'd been doing it for about 13 years at that point, but I was doing it quite consistently every day for a long time. I mean, not the whole 13 years, but for at least 5 years, I was doing it on and off, as you do. Okay, but I was doing it quite consistently every day for about nearly 5 years. So it wasn't like I wasn't doing anything. I was doing it. I was doing work every day. But I was just doing the work when mine happened. I was just doing a normal Qigong session before I went to bed. Okay? And it wasn't even an intense one. It was a more gentle relaxation one because I was about to go to bed. So I was just feeling energy very gently. It wasn't intense or anything like that. But when that happened, my mind was already equipped with the tools to deal with the whole experience and what happened afterwards. Okay, but it was very turbulent afterwards. So it took me a while, but as I said, I had to stop all the nonsense. I learned I had to give up alcohol, give up smoking cigarettes, because all that stuff doesn't go. within an awakened mind. It doesn't go. It just doesn't fit. Alcohol, drugs, alcohol, DMT, mushrooms, all that stuff was done in the past. I haven't touched DMT or mushrooms or anything like that since. You don't need it. So I spoke about this all earlier on today, so I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Okay? But yes, this is pretty much the end of the live. So I think quite a few people join in later. So catch the live on the page, guys. It will be posted up. It was a very, very important one. That's the only thing that matters. Let's cut to the chase. What is the purpose of your message? Did you just join in now? Oh, it looks like I disconnected and reconnected. A lot of people, have the luxury of I lost it because the comments keep coming in. Sorry about that. I'm asking the real questions. Okay, so that's the top one. I had a Kundalini awakening last year and it was great at first, but it got crazy later on, hearing voices, smelling, seeing things. As I said, like there's a fine line between schizophrenia, psychosis, okay? Because actually, what? You're going to hear things, you're going to see things that you've never seen before, right? So there's a fine line. So this is why this live was so important today, because I was talking about the importance of mastering the mind and being disciplined, because those energies and the mind opens up to a lot more what most people are used to. I believe man, womankind are naturally created to achieve enlightenment. Our society just doesn't guide us but harms us. Absolutely, I believe everyone's born enlightened. We become unenlightened because pretty much as children, you're full of joy, you're full of love. I mean, this is why then we have to go through the journey of learning loads of shit and then we have to unlearn it. Because it's the learning and then the unlearning that gets us there, right? Because it's the ego, because we start to play the ego. The ego learns, and it just reinforces itself in this identity and this person and the me. So then we have to unlearn all of that and let go of the me and the identity and everything it learnt, because what you learnt is no longer needed, especially for enlightenment. So you basically have to go back to being a child. You basically become this person, and then you have to go back in. You've got to go back to being like what it was like when you was a child. That's how it works. That's how it worked for me. I had to go back to being a child. So I had to cut myself off from everyone, just connect with nature, just me, nature, God. No outside influences, because that's what got me here in the first place, which made me lost. So everyone, in a sense, is born enlightened. But when you spend life within the darkness, here, you lose yourself. You get lost in the world of Maya, illusion. The illusion takes you away. So it's a process of learning and then unlearning everything. And when you unlearned everything, your cup is empty, then the wisdom of God can fill the cup. But it can't fill the cup if it thinks it knows it all. This is why what you know, I always say, it all begins by letting go. Whatever you thought you knew, or whatever you think you know, you need to let it go. Because God can't have that in the way. God can't have that in the way, because that is ego identity. Me knowledge. I know this. That can't exist. So all of that has to be put aside. Just put the physical work in and be stronger in the mind and body. Yeah, absolutely. I spoke about the importance of movement and getting out of depression, you know. Myself and my stories, just getting moving. Get up early, go for a walk. Go to the gym. I go to the gym. Having a workout, get moving, man. Physiology is so important. 55% of your state of mind is down to your physiology. If you're not moving, you're likely to go into depression if you're not moving enough. So I'm just repeating the stuff I already said earlier. Thank you very much for joining in, everyone. The comments are messing up. It keeps jumping around. Sorry, I can't tend to scroll through this. Your wife is a lucky woman. Thank you very much, Liz, for Cynthia. Thank you very much. All right, Bo, I'll catch you tomorrow. Fabric softener doing laundry. Good stuff, Pamela. Yeah, tomorrow live with Nevin. So that's going to be at 5 p.m. GMT, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be talking about polarity. Okay, the polarity is Hermetic principle number 4. Okay, we've been doing a series. So we've already done the first 3. All is mind. Number 2, correspondence, as above, so below. As within, so without. Number 3 was vibrations. We done that last week on Wednesday. So every Wednesday I do a live with Nevan Parr, the author of Serpent Rising, the Kundalini Compendium, and the Magus, Kundalini and the Golden Dawn. We do a live every Wednesday, and it's at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. GMT. So tomorrow is polarity. I'll see you there, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Much love. Again, this will be on the page once I've stopped this, because I've spoke about some really important stuff today.